prepared to live completely transparent. If you're just be prepared to live completely transparent. If you love the strip club, bro, and your old lady don't know, you better sit her down and say, hey, baby, I love the strip club. You gonna see some things, and you gonna just see it and know that I like that. We're gonna be forced to be completely transparent with who we are. If I act one way in public and in private I don't, I ain't gonna be able to do that, because in private publicly somebody can find out my private financial records and say, well, I know what you're doing private, bro. So just be prepared to live transparent, just like how we talking on all these cameras. Just act as if this camera's on you doing everything, because they are digital cameras watching your transactions. It's just the way it's gonna be. So if you're not comfortable living like that, you better get ready. And that's in all things. Your spending, what you like to eat. But we already live in that world.
I was listening to an interview with Jeremy Siegel, okay, and he seems to feel that 90% of the inflation issue is behind us, and that the market is going to grow another 20% in 2023.
Like, do you agree with that? Do you think inflation is over?
Well, I mean, if you look at all the layoffs with the tech companies, Amazon laid off like 10,000 people the other day.
Yeah.
And people are upset. Twitter, you saw what happened with Elon Musk. And also Facebook, I think they laid off another 11,000. If people are laid off, they can't buy. And if they can't buy, you take pricing pressures off the table and inflation starts to come down.
Why does my dollar today worth less money next year? Why is that?
Mark, everything is supply and demand. So if there's less supply and more demand, pricing pressure goes up. And it's the opposite if there is more supply and less demand. I mean, pricing pressure goes down. So right now, you have supply and you have demand waning because people are concerned about high interest rates. People are concerned about the economy. People are concerned about if they're going to have a job tomorrow. So less people are looking at purchasing. I mean, if you look at some of the reports that have come out in the last week, like from Target and other retail, nobody's buying anything but food. And the only reason why people are buying food because you have to have food to live. You don't know if you're going to have a job tomorrow. You're not going to go out and spend all your money when you have to pay rent, utilities, and all of those things. And utilities are sky high.
I mean, what kind of effect, though, does this all have now on crypto? What's going on in all these different markets?
I think crypto has its own issues right now, starting with your boy Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX.
Yeah.
So, crypto is scrambling.
But you were telling me something crazy before we came on camera.
Yeah.
About what was going on out there.
Well, I mean, I think, with the new Republican Congress, they're going to try to tie Bankman-Fried and the Biden administration to Ukraine and try to tie the billions of dollars we've given to Ukraine to FTX.
Like everyone knows, there was a time when they were talking about adding benefits and crypto and the benefits that it could have to help in the Ukraine situation. Stated how they had raised like a little over $54 million and some change for Ukraine.
Bankman-Fried was the main guy negotiating regulations for crypto, number one. One thing I didn't know until a week ago was that he was the largest donor of anybody for the Democratic Party and the president.
That's an interesting take. Do you think that it's possible that that whole company could have been set up to put enough of a shake into the market?
Mark, he had a lot of connections.
A lot.
He had connections in very high places. If anybody else had done what he did with this particular company, they would be in prison right now.
So why
they would be in jail? He had a lot of connections. I mean, think about it, man. You're a sitting U.S. senator, and this kid gave you $20 million for your campaign. He was connected to the president of Ukraine. They haven't tried to arrest him. They haven't extradited him out of the Bahamas. He's still tweeting. As a matter of fact, he's tweeting that there are billions of dollars sitting around that he's trying to find.
Another CEO of Exchange, BitMEX, with Arthur Hayes, billionaire, except he's black, and he's in, Korea. So they're running their operation. They said that he was laundering money or helping other governments and stuff launder money or something. So they came after him. He went on the run for like 2 years. So he had a trial here in New York, I think, and then he got like, I don't know, like 12 months or something, like probation or something. So he still got off too.
I think FTX owes $3 billion.
Owes
to their top 50 creditors.
Wow.
$3 billion. And he seems to think that he can broker some type of bailout deal. So the question is, who is he brokering the deal with? Is he brokering that deal with Ukraine? Is he brokering that deal with the United States of America?
Right, because none of his creditors are going to give him money to pay them back with.
Correct.
Like, they're not going to give him more money to mess up. So, like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where this money's coming from. And is this in wallets that he's just got stashed somewhere?
But he was the darling of crypto, given the fact he went to MIT. His parents were professors and attorneys, and they both taught at Stanford University. So, he had a great story, a great background. And if you're just a regular person and you're talking to this young kid, I mean, based on his background, you would think he was credible.
When they're playing with this much money and people's like life savings and all these investment banks and firms that are tied to it, none of them did any investing. Like, none of them did due diligence either. And like, what's going on? Like, my thing is, they all got to be in on it, because nothing that big is just going to slide by. Some of the biggest banks in the world are...
That doesn't happen overnight. And then Binance came in. I mean, they were going to bail him out, and they must have saw something.
I knew it was a problem when they said they wanted to buy him. As soon as I saw that, because on paper, just think about it. The minute before that announcement's made, everyone in the world thinks FTX is bigger than Binance.
If the SEC would have just enforced the 1970 Consumer Protection Rule, none of this stuff would have happened.
Why?
Because that rule stipulates that there's no commingling of funds, and it also stipulates that assets stay segregated. So then you wouldn't have had the Alameda, crypto issue with FTX.
Back and forth.
Correct. And that's something that could have easily been done months ago.
But here's the thing, that people knew that these two separate companies existed, and that Alameda had a lot of cash. But
you said had?
Well, maybe it still has a lot of cash.
So now Congress is calling for hearings finally.
Right.
And I guess those hearings are going to be coming up soon.
Okay.
But what I found strange is that they're going after SoFi. But SoFi has no connection at all to FTX. Yeah.
Governments in general are the biggest mafias in the world, and the way I operate as a mafia would actually be like, you would have to pay me.
Nobody's throwing XRP's name in anything, and they're the only ones involved in a lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not doing the type of things that FTX is doing, because they're not an exchange.
Well, they're running a legitimate business, and like I said, like we've said in the past, it's the only one, or one of the only ones with a real legitimate
purpose,
utility.
Yeah, I think that the crazy thing is, even through all this stuff that's happening, it's just really showing you how useless 99% of these projects are, and the ones with real utility will show. Like, we only really talk about a handful of projects. I mean, we talk about XRP, we talk about Bitcoin, we talk about ETH.
Yeah.
We might talk about Sandbox or Gala games here or there when I bring it up, but other than that, it's really those five.